Howdy artists, you're going to go ahead and open FlipAnim, FlipAnim.com. Now you're going to see here that you have paper and you have layers. Paper is going to be what is your background, and that's going to stay the same. I mean, of course, unless you change it. So what you can go ahead and do is select paper, and then you can scroll down and perhaps just add a color. Or if you have a design that you want to add, go ahead, just do that on the paper. Don't do it on the layers, because layers are going to be the part that changes. Now, if you would like to make a color that perhaps you don't see down below, you can always select that little paint palette and then you can adjust it there. It's also going to be helpful later for when you want to adjust your opacity. Now, what happens if you start working on your layers and then you decide you don't really like how it came out? Well, you could either grab the eraser tool at the top and start erasing, or you can use your backwards and your frontwards arrows to either undo or to redo. So I'm going to go ahead and begin here. Remember that we drew out our frames. So I got my little bee that I'm going to start with. Now remember how I mentioned opacity? For my bee's wings, I want to go ahead and change these to be slightly transparent. So that's what I'm going to do here, but obviously you don't need to do this if you don't have that in your sketches. Okay, now as soon as I am done with my first frame and I'm ready to go to my second frame, I'm going to hit that plus button up at the top. Now see how I can still see my image from my first frame? That's going to be helpful for creating our movement. So I'm going to go ahead, work on now number 2, and I can see where number 1 is to help me with my positioning. Again, I'm just going off of the sketches that we made together during our class period last week. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you don't have to painfully watch me do all of this. But you can see that for each new frame, I'm just going up, I'm hitting the plus button, and I'm just drawing the best I can to match what I did for my sketches. For big areas of color that you need to fill in, you can always use the paint bucket tool, or you could go down to the bottom and adjust the size of your brush as well. Now I'm going to show you here how I have about 7 frames now, and I can actually test and see how this is coming out. So up here at the top, there's a little play button next to a minus button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that little triangle for my play, and I can watch out my 7 frames so far. Oh my goodness, looking pretty cool. I could also choose to either make my frames faster or slower, or just leave them as is. All right, here we go. Let's get back to it. So remember that I want you guys to do 12 frames. That's the standard. 12 frames equals 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep on working. Oh my goodness, I've reached the end. I have done my 12 frames. So check it out. Go back up to that play button and you can totally keep replaying it over and over and over again. It's so much fun to watch, isn't it? So I can't wait to see how yours come out. But let's talk about how you're going to send it to me so we can have our awesome little movie day for our next class to watch all of your animations. So you guys are going to go up to the save button, okay? And it's going to bring you to this screen. Now, you can give it a title if you would like. I usually like to see that, especially when you guys send me your links. But you're also going to hit this upload button and make sure that you have it checked off that this animation is going to be public. Don't worry, it's not going to be available to everybody in the world. It's just making it so that I can see it. So as soon as you hit upload, then you're going to make sure you're not a robot. Please check that you're not a robot. You are not a robot. And then you're going to bring it over into this screen here. Now you have the option where you can save your image, okay? Or you can just send me the link and I'll show that in a second. So over here in Canvas, this is an assignment I did with my 3rd grade, so ignore the title, it's not relevant to you. You can see that when I go to submit my assignment, okay, I could either do a file upload or I could do a website URL. So I'm going to show you here how you can take your animation, you can right click it, hit save image as, perhaps you want to give it a title, for instance, mine is Flight of the Bee. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you how you can copy that URL. The URL is the part up at the top that actually shows where that website goes. So if I come back over into Canvas here, again, file upload, I could choose my file, but let me show you website URL. All I have to do is just paste it in there. So I put my URL to my animation straight in that little button, or straight in that little space. Great. Now I'll show you too with your file upload. If you decide to go that route, you just choose your file, maybe you search for the title, or maybe you know exactly where you put it, perhaps like on your desktop. And then what you go ahead and do is upload that and you would hit your submit assignment. This way I have access to your animation so that we can all watch it together during class. Artists, I hope you've had so much fun learning how to do stop motion animation, and I can't wait for our movie day.